This is the Power Element Podcast. If you're new to the show, my name is Paul. I produce podcasts. I am a journeyman lineman by trade. Raul, your host, is a journeyman lineman as well. Currently serves as Director of Operations T&D here at Sturgeon, California. All right, bringing in a special guest, Eddie Finnegan, safety manager here at Sturgeon, California. Eddie did a great job. He spoke at the safety conference at the International Lineman's Rodeo. So this episode is recorded live a day later at the International Lineman's Rodeo Expo. Ed's first International Lineman's Rodeo. He had a great time. Shirt trading, watching the event on Saturday. Glad to have him a part of the events. Ed does a great job. He's a good friend of mine. Couldn't be more proud of him. Ed, you're doing great things, man. Appreciate you, man. Good stuff. I'll get to Ed's show, his episode, his message, but first, promotional partners. Milwaukee Tool. Since the company began in 1924, Milwaukee Tool has led the industry in developing innovative solutions that deliver increased productivity and unmatched durability for professional construction users. Head on over to MilwaukeeTool.com or on Instagram at Milwaukee Tool for the latest and greatest. Speaking about the greatest, High Voltage Industries, the biggest brand on Instagram showcasing all aspects of the high voltage industry. These guys have been working for nearly 10 years on showing the world what we do and how the industry gets it done every day. Check out their Instagram page at highvoltage_industries. They got some of the best merch in the game, highvoltageindustries.com. When you're there at checkout, use promo code POWERELEMENT to get 10% off your order. All caps, one word. Once again, POWERELEMENT, 10% off, highvoltageindustries.com today. All right, DSS Beats provides us with all of our music. Some of you might know him as Daniel Sanchez. Talented and young man. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the music. I'll put your info in the show notes. All right, if you enjoy the show, do me a favor. Make sure you like us. Make sure you're following us on your favorite platform. Once again, give us a like. Share the show. Give us a comment. It means the world to us. Appreciate you. All right, I want to thank the entire Sturgeon, California workforce. Without you, this podcast would not be possible. All right, let's get to the show. Eddie Finnegan, safety manager, Sturgeon, California. Enjoy the show.
The greatest mark of leadership is not how far you go, but how far others go because of you. Whew, got some leadership in front of me.
I like that, bro. This is the Power Element Podcast. International Lineman's Rodeo Expo. Whew, man, what a busy day. Just started it was crazy busy, and finally got just a breath of fresh air, just kind of relax, have a good buddy on, and here we are. So you excited about this podcast or what?
I am, man. Mr. Finnegan spoke yesterday, had a good message.
Yes, sir.
Want to dive into that a little bit?
I think it'd be great, dude. I think the safety conference, we've been talking about it today with a couple dudes. I really, really enjoyed the safety conference day one. A lot of familiar faces. Jenny Lavin was on there. Mr. Edward Finnegan. We had Mr. Dr. Kevin Rindall. We had a whole good, for me, the itinerary and the agenda was just jam-packed.
Absolutely.
With a lot of information. So welcome to the show, Mr. Edward Finnegan, a.k.a. Eddie.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. Thanks for corralling you.
Yeah, now I'm in the corner. I'm trapped.
You ain't going nowhere, bro.
Going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere. So for our listeners, Eddie's our safety manager there at Sturgeon Electric, California. Has been doing us a phenomenal job. And you said something yesterday during your discussion in your presentation with everybody, and I have to disagree with you a little bit. You said that you're not a good safety manager or a safety guy. You said.
Yes. Good point.
And I have to tell you that I think you're probably one of the better safety managers. No offense to those that I've worked around out there. because of your passion, your involvement. I mean, you're not a lineman, which I think that's why the statement was made. But I can tell you, dude, like your passion, I think everybody sees it and feels it at our company and yesterday in that room. So welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate it. Those kind words. It's going to be hard to match that. Oh, man, I feel a little pressure come on me all of a sudden.
You'll be fine, bro. I seen you. You were great under pressure.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You talk to some of these safety professionals, it's a different beast. A lot of them, we experienced a little bit on the second day, right? A very analytical version of safety.
Right.
And for me personally, I think I try to bring passion to the game, and I think leadership is going to be the number one thing that everybody needs to really hone in what we're really looking out of the trade, right? Get everybody home safe and influence lives, change lives.
Yeah.
So that's the way I roll. Unfortunately, I'm passionate about everything I do. Paul's seen me out in golf. I'm passionate about golf, even though I'm not good at it at all. I really want to win. Paul knows that. We're out there competing. I'm passionate about everything, man. It's what I do, and I think that's what really makes up. And I think that's what you're saying. I think the guys feed off of that. They see that I'm not fake. They're going to get what they get.
The guys love the realness. We were just talking with Joe Minus a little bit ago, and he was talking about how the guys can sniff that out if you're not true, and yet your intent is what it needs to be. And we're talking about this hard hat and a lot of things, obviously. But, dude, your presentation yesterday, I can tell you, I didn't know, what to expect. I was like, oh, God, what's he going to do? Because I've seen you present before at our safety meetings and leadership conferences, and you've done well. I mean, you sit good in that space. But I'm telling you what, 300-400 linemen in a conference room is a little different. A little bit, But the way you carried yourself, you owned the room. Your presentation was on point. A little technical difficulties, which you could expect.
We blame you too.
We'll blame you too. But, I mean, preparing for that, obviously, I think, I'd love to sit here and talk through the whole presentation, but just for time, preparing for that, I mean, what was you think your biggest challenge you had to overcome when you were preparing for that? Was it the people? Was it the message? What do you think you had to...
I tell you, I think I changed that. I told him, I don't know, I think I changed that speech 20 times.
Yeah.
And I don't write speeches. Nothing, I don't write anything down. What was on the slides, there's no notes on there to follow. It's just that, and I'll just speak from the heart.
Yeah.
So preparing for that, every time I'd go out, and maybe exercise, walk, a thought would come into my head. I'm like, ooh, I can use that. I like that. They're going to love that. And it just kept on going and going. And then we did that Foreman Academy.
Yeah.
And I edited what's called the Staff NCO Creed, right? It's a Marine Corps creed. I wish I would have it memorized for you guys or brought my notebook.
Yeah.
But that creed, when I was a young Staff NCO, and that's the first time where you get probably 60 plus people working directly for you. And I had a leader tell me about this creed. And at first you look at it, it's just paper, right? But then when you read the words about owning everything in your lane, and I said it at our Foreman Academy, and I got a bunch of feedback. I mean, that's the first time I probably had Foreman text me, tell me, hey, that was real, that was good, and
that's
talk
cool.
to my man over here, Paul, and he said, hey, I think that'd be good for the rodeo. I think the guys are going to get that. Yeah. I've asked guys that have asked me to send it to them. They're like, oh, send that to me. And the reactions are, man, that was good. That was from the heart, you could tell. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm the kind of guy who's like, I'm going to take criticism, and that's what I prefer. If we get to disagree on something, let's disagree on something. Yeah. But man, walking around here, you can feel the vibe. I'm getting stopped in the corners. I was like, okay, this was good. This is a great event, and I really do appreciate Sturgeon Electric California for putting me on. Right? I don't think I would have done it unless Paul encouraged me to do it and get out there and get out of my comfort zone a little bit.
That's good, dude. Yeah, I mean, he's always challenging that. I mean, it's funny how he does it in his own little tactical ways, though. You know what I mean? Like, he does little things. Even with me, I learned a lot from this guy, dude. Like, he got his ways of doing things. Some things I don't learn from him, but, he learns from me. We learn from each other. But I got to apologize for our listeners. So tell us your background real quick on coming up through the ranks and how, your time in the service in the military. And then what I do want you to do is compare it, just continue on how relatable our trade is with that environment that you come from.
Absolutely.
Your history, if you can.
So I joined the Marine Corps in 1997.
Damn.
Yeah, I was straight out
Dude,
of high
that's the
school.
same year I got my indenture, my apprenticeship indenturement, bro.
I was 17 years
Yeah.
old.
Damn.
So parents had to sign and say it was okay to go, so I was
17.
off. 17. The month after I graduated high school, I was in boot camp. I turned 18 in boot camp.
And was it because your family was already in the military, or something you just said, I want to do it?
So my dad was in the Navy.
Shout out Navy.
Shout out Navy, our sister force over there. We don't want to take too many shots around here.
What's that movie? Yeah, we love you guys. You guys give us a ride.
That's right. Definitely.
So he was in the Navy, and I, being a little punk kid, got a call from a recruiter one day, and he offered. So MCRD San Diego is where Marine Corps boot camp is for the West. Well, I live 15 minutes from there. So the recruiter calls me. He goes, "Hey, why don't you go with me? I'll show you everything there is about boot camp. You tell me if you want to do it or not." And I thought that was an interesting take. So I was like, "Okay, bet." He picks me up. Go over there. I was sold. I saw all the running and people getting yelled at, and I was like, "Man, I'm in. I'm sold. Let's do this."
No more. Let's do it.
more.
Yeah.
You sure it was in the shorts?
No, it definitely wasn't the shorts. So there I was, joined, got into artillery, and so I was a field artillery cannoneer. Did that, and I loved it. Man, the grind, the camaraderie, the brothership. You live on this gun section 30 days at a time with a gun crew of like 8 to 10 guys, and everything there is to know about them. Because you're spending so much time with them, and it builds that brotherhood. And after the first 4 years, I was like, I'm hooked. I'm staying. I'm taking this for the long haul. Ended up doing 24 years. Made it to the rank of Mass Sergeant, which is E8, second highest enlisted rank in the Marine Corps. It's funny because I tell you I'm passionate. I talked about it yesterday in my speech. I was actually just a smidge upset when I didn't make E9. I tell my family that's how much I care. I was like, I kind of failed.
Right there.
I was right there. I didn't make it, But what really got me and eye-opening is some of the young guys that I was bringing up who either made it to E9, made it to E8, and they're calling me about their careers, and I was like, man, that's amazing, and that really goes back. I love the Marine Corps. I love the brotherhood. And when I was transitioning, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, I had a lineman and another guy kind of encourage me to continue to serve in this capacity. He said, hey, why don't you just get into safety, let the guys teach you the trade, and just help them out. And I was like, I don't know anything about being a lineman. What am I going to bring to the table? And from there, he was like, just ask questions. Just ask questions, build relationships, and I did it. So I've spent some time, man, we could talk about the Marine Corps all day. So I spent some time learning the trade, just opening up books, whatever lineman would talk to me. You guys know, you guys are a rough crowd sometimes. It's hard to get in. You gotta work your way in, right? Once you're in, you feel that you're in.
Yeah.
But when you're on the outside, you're kind of trying to support. And I also tell people the story of, in comparison, because there's a lot of comparisons from the Marine Corps to the trade. And I think we just got to hone in on those and really take us to the next level. And one of the things I think is like, so in the Marine Corps, we don't have any medical. We use the Navy for our medical. So they provide us our corpsmen, shout out, right? They got to take care of us. So all the doctors.
He wants every shout out he can get.
Oh, man, Navy.
Yeah. I got to take him along for me.
Send Ed all the blue crayons favorite.
Yeah, blue crayons is the favorite. So we had our corpsmen. The corpsmen don't know anything about being a Marine, but they're there to support us, right? And they have to learn how we operate so they know we're kind of similar to a safety guard. They got to know where to stand. They got their FMF pin. They learn about all the Marine Corps combat arms and kind of get, work their way through that. Well, they're in support. They're never going to go and shoot artillery. They're never going to go and boss me around, but they're there to support us. So at the same time, that's how I feel like the relationship is for the safety guys, right? I got to be there to support you. I know I'm not getting in the bucket. We can all agree on that, right? And I think as long as I carry myself like that, the guys feed off of it. And I'll tell you, my time in the service, that's exactly how I feel about it. Learn that, bring this over to this trade, and man, if it's up to me, I'm gonna bring more. I'm always looking for more service members. I think you guys would love to have more of them. I think they make an impact instantly, and they're force multipliers. Like, I just want to work. Right, I'm just passionate. We set up this booth yesterday, right?
Sure.
So here we were setting up the booth. I'm the safety guy, but I'm over here like
grinding it out,
slinging. Let's go. Let's set this thing up. Which is funny because I come in here and you guys change
Paul
it.
tells me he does it all by himself.
I did.
I hear the fucking small violins playing, bro.
He's in the Navy. He's got to
He's
tell
like,
you.
oh, I got to do this. I got to set up the booth. I'm here till 6 o'clock at night. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's tough, man. It's hard.
It's hard for a Navy guy, you know. They're not
He's
used
got
to
a whole team of people helping him.
He doesn't want to give them props.
It's tough.
Just tell him it's all you, man. That's
all
how you get a pay raise. That's how you get a pay raise.
That's it.
You're like, oh man, look at all this hard work I put in
Then
for
you get the pay bump, then it's everyone.
So your transition in the trade, it was pretty simple, you think, or was
I had to.
pretty tough, or what?
I think I had to eat a little bit to get here, right? Because you got to get your foot in the door, and that's the hardest part, right? I think for a non-lineman to get his foot in the door, it's difficult, and you got to prove yourself. Mm-hmm. So I ended up actually taking a couple gigs out of state. I worked in Arkansas and Alabama building solar farms.
Oh, did you?
So I was the safety manager out there. So Searcy, Arkansas, I was there for 9 months building a solar farm, just trying to learn the industry. There happened to be some linemen out there, right? So
How'd you like that traveling? How about your family?
the family stayed. It was tough, you know.
They stayed back?
They stayed back. I went out there and did it. I was really working on trying to get my foot in the door because those mentors that I met early on told me, you're not going to get in quick. You're going to have to do some smaller gigs in order to break through. So I went in and I ate it. I was like, okay, I'll go do that. To tell you the truth, the pay was decent, not a big deal. But they said, don't worry about the pay now. It's going to come. Just get out there, prove your worth, and somebody's going to pull you in because they're going to see what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So.
And how did you get over to Sturgeon? How'd that transition happen? I got to know that story. I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Yeah,
I don't even know. You just showed up. Who's this safety guy?
Interesting enough, I was at a competitor in Live Oak. Right, we'll leave their names out of it, but
yeah, let's leave it out of it.
Yeah. So after the solar farm, I went to there,
Yeah.
And then the contract happened where the big shuffle came. Mm-hmm. They happened to not get the contract, and funny enough, friend of a friend told me about Sturgeon, and I applied. Randomly got an interview. I think, funny enough, I may not have landed this job if Raul was on the interview in the first place.
Ooh.
Because
you probably wouldn't have.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, because it's hard, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's hard. Yeah,
to really prove what I'll bring to the table or
it
how
is
hard I'll work for you.
Because I'm always looking for that lineman safety guy.
Right.
I mean, that's what I know has worked in the past. I'm glad I wasn't, because it turned out to be beautiful relationship between what you're doing for us and your talent. I mean, you're passionate, dude, but you also speak the language of our clients too. You know what I mean? Like, you could have a conversation, a educated safety conversation of, let's talk energy well, let's talk human performance, let's talk leadership, let's talk culture. But then you could go right to a safety meeting and roll it out in the way you do, in the passionate way you do, and you got your boots on and you're getting dirty with it. So for me, I'm gonna be honest with both of you guys and even our listeners, I'm always looking for that. I'm looking for a guy who's our safety manager. I want somebody who can be in the trenches with the guys and then put a shirt and tie in the executive boardroom to talk safety, because there's a gap, dude. There's a huge learning curve there, right? Not even a gap. It's a learning curve you got to get to. Because our clients speak a certain language, but our guys speak another. But that safety manager's got to do it all in between.
It's got to bridge the gap.
You got to bridge the gap.
And
you got to present, and you got to be able to do both. I do that constantly. I'm at a safety meeting on Thursday, out there doing my thing with the guys, going to visiting crews. Then I'm with our client, whole different conversations, pricing, safety, all that stuff, quality, environmental compliance. Like, it's like a shift in your mind that you have to make, because those two conversations are different.
It is.
Right?
I tell you that I'm still working on the other side. I'm working on the professional side, suit and tie.
I don't know, dude.
You
You're
guys
really
know.
good.
I needed some help getting dressed for the rodeo, so we won't get into that. Shout out for Janine who hooked me up.
Hey, we come correct at the rodeo. That's
absolutely,
for sure.
We definitely come correct. Hey, everybody. I'm the new face, so I spoke one time, and everyone found out I was with Sturgeon Electric California. And they're like, how do I get on the podcast? What are you guys are doing there? It was awesome. You guys got the best shirts. You guys are doing everything. You guys are everywhere. I'm like, I'm just living in the shadows, man. Like I told you guys at the speech, I stand on the shoulders of giants. These guys are doing it. I'm like,
shoulders of giants. I like that shit.
Man.
That's dope. I like that, dude. So the presentation, just to put our listeners there, dude, it was very relatable. You hit very key points. I took some down. I would like for you just to talk through it if you can. because I think it's very relatable. I think that's why we gravitate towards the echelon front leadership.
Yeah.
That laws of combat.
Good comparison.
Because it's really relatable. Like the things are simple. The simple. There's just simple fundamental
Concepts, principles.
Thank you. And the guys. It's easy to talk about. It's easy to implement. So, tell me the comparisons from because you took a little bit different spin.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated because it's one thing from somebody not doing our business to say it's relatable, but for you to know our business, which you're not a lineman, but you do know our business.
Right.
You're out there with the guys, you see the challenges. So your spin is actually something I really appreciated. So let's talk through your thoughts on the comparison.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think, right up front, there is a shared hardship, right? When you go through something that's shared hardship,
Yeah.
already that brotherhood starts being built,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think when you see that, when I talked about, any climb in place, right? For the Marine Corps, any climb in place, that's something we hold true. Like, we're like, hey, you call us, we're going, we're going to do it. That's no different than you guys, right? Storm, fire, doesn't matter what time or situation. If the power's got to get back on, they're calling you. Get out here and get it done. Guys are jumping out of bed, just as if I had to go deploy. You guys are getting, hey, get your stuff, get your go bag, and get in the truck, and let's do this work. And the outreach from that, right? The reach that nobody really talks about. I think maybe the guys maybe take for granted. They're reaching thousands of people. Thousands of people rely on you for the light to come back on, right? It's a storm, ice storm, fire. We can talk about all the ones you guys have already been to in the last 3 years that I've been here.
This year's been crazy.
Monsoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
The monsoons, the fires, you name it. I'm like, wow, dude, we are turning a full-blown storm restoration company now, dude. Every year it's something.
Yeah.
Every year we got 2 or 3 storms we're going on.
And the guys are jumping on it. They're not. These guys are not
They're not
hiding from the
hesitant.
work. They're
No.
getting out there and saying, "Let's get it done." And it's not.
Yeah.
Man, the effort, the passion to get the power, to get the lights back on. I'm telling you, I think it's remarkable, and I love to see it. When we're out there getting the work done, it just reminds me like there's a mission.
Yep.
Right? They got a mission, and they're going to go accomplish it. And I love that. They're not making excuses about, oh, sorry, I can't because of this or that.
Yeah.
They're going to figure out a way to get it done, and it goes a long way.
And even outside of emergent work, like if it's just, even if it's a planned job, it's just a maintenance routine. Like there's the mission. Look, guys, we got all this work. It's not like, oh God, try to make excuses, which guys could, to get out of it, right? Find any excuse not to do it. It's like, let's find reasons why we should do it and how we can do it. Let's do it safe. It's just, to me, I agree, dude. It's that mission focused, my concept.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what it is. Yeah.
The guys, they're driven by it. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what was really cool
Yeah,
is that
it's
the
cool.
guys are driven to get out there and get it done. And you don't see that. A lot of guys are like, I got to punch the clock. I got to go do this. But these guys, man, if you told them they couldn't do anything today, they'd
Yeah.
probably be mad at you. They're like, no, what? Like, can I
Yeah.
jump on another crew? Do they need me anywhere else? I'll go to get it done. And I'm like,
dude, it's actually, there's a lot of work that goes into it. No different than the planning in battle. It's the same thing. You got your procedures, right? You got the leadership, the management, at the companies versus your commanding officer. It's like, to me, it's so relatable, dude. It's so cool.
it's so relatable. And like, yesterday I
That's
talked
probably
about.
why you drawn to it.
Yeah.
I think it is. I love it here. I love this trade. You guys are awesome. But I talked about the relationship of enlisted to officers, right?
Yes.
It's the same relationship we have with project managers and safety. We just got to kind of work on, like you said, we got to bridge the gap on how we do that.
Yeah.
And the real trick is realizing, hey, I'm not here to tell you how to do your stuff, but I'm here to help support and see, hey, I'm not perfect, but I see something. Let's talk about it. And I think when you develop those relationships and realize, how to bridge the gap, the guys will buy into it, right? Because that's the real trick. You could have the best tools in the world. You could have the best plan in the world, but if you don't get the guys to buy into it, it ain't nothing.
Do you think the you hit a question here, a thought in my head here about relationships in the military versus relationships on the line industry? Is it similar, or do you think it's stronger on the military side?
Oh man!
And I don't want to put anybody in a spot where like, oh God, one is better than the other. I'm just saying, what do you see?
At our company right now, I always look at attrition rate, right? When I was in the
Yeah.
Marine Corps, if I was in a unit that I had a bunch of people re-enlisted in, and they enjoyed what they were doing and they were staying around, I knew we were doing the right thing. Right? Because that influence was going where guys were like, I want to do this longer. We don't have a lot of guys leaving us. So when I look at what, like our company specifically, we got guys that have been here for years and years.
Dude, we're passing out 5-10-year awards like freaking
For lineman,
like,
for craft.
like candy, bro, for craft.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
So that brotherhood, you could tell, and I know it's probably other companies, so I'm not going to harp on any of those, but that connection that's keeping them in one place saying, I want to work for these guys, man, that really does show that brotherhood. And I think that's why I say it's very similar. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, these guys, they want to be next to each other. They want to serve with each other. They're not running off for the next thing, smoking. And I get it. They have options, right? They can go run some storm work. They can go to another contractor. But they're saying, no, this is my spot, and I want to be here. So I think that camaraderie and that brothership, that brotherhood is very similar. And like you said earlier, that's what kind of draws you to that. And I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to recruit military into the trade. Yeah. I'm telling you, because it's not well known, like a transition for military. It's not like, hey, you know what? Have you ever thought about? So if we're able to put more of these guys and spread the word, I think, man, we're just going to feed the fire.
Yeah, definitely.
There's some company. There's a lot of through local apprenticeship programs for our listeners. There's a lot going on. There's certain corporations that get involved. I know MRR Group, our corporation, with the VERG, as we could talk through some of that stuff. You guys are both involved in that. You're co-chair.
Coach, I'm the vice chair for
VERG. You guys want to talk? Maybe smash that out. What that is and what you guys are doing there with that group.
Yeah, so Paul's once again, Paul, the initiator.
I know.
Maybe we should just call him the initiator, because he really does.
Bridge. If you can't be a lighthouse, be a bridge or something like that.
Well, what's cool is he's not shying from it. He'll jump in with you. And a little shout out to Paul here. He's not like, here, you guys should do this. When we started the podcast, he didn't say, Raul, you should start a podcast. He said, we should start a podcast. So
we're going to learn together. We're growing together.
Hats off to my boy here, challenging a lot of people, which is dope.
It is. It's interesting how you do it too. I see you do it with others, and you did it to me, and I appreciate it. I give you a hard time, but it was all good stuff.
Likewise, brother.
The VERG, he pulled me in, recruited me to the VERG, and I feel like it's a large ship moving very slowly. Yeah. But we are in the process of building our skills bridge program. We're trying to make a pipeline to bring veterans into our company. Yeah. If you're not familiar with the Skills Bridge, it's a program where in the last 180 days-ish, Marine service members could go to a company, work there, and it's almost like a working interview. We want to give them the skills, whatever we can, even if it's safety, ops, project coordinators. We have some intelligent people that are ready to fill gaps, and I think we're missing that. So we struck that with MYR. They're in the process. We should be a Skills Bridge DOD authorized company here shortly, so we can start that pipeline and bringing these people in and getting them in the industry. Because I'm seeing we have gaps that can be filled easily, right? Mechanics, project coordinators, all these things, right? Yeah. But we got to get out there and get them.
You got to
get out there and get them.
And sometimes people just don't know, like the route. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's some corporations do it really well, a lot of marketing. So if there's any way this format can help, you guys take the opportunity. So if there's a path or whatever that you guys want to get out there, use this format. You know what I mean?
And that's what it's about. I'll jump in right there. It's about building that community, and providing our combat veterans and veterans a avenue to access good jobs, purposeful, meaningful jobs, and be a part of community. And we can't forget that a lot of these values that we seek to bring into our industry have been provided by military and service members within that. You talked about it yesterday. You talked about leading a team at 22 years old. What was that position you hold?
Yeah, I was a section chief at 22 years old. I had a howitzer section all myself, millions of dollars of equipment, and 10 guys that reported directly to me. That everything that howitzer did or failed to do was on me.
And you might lack that the experience in the trade, being a young lineman or young foreman, but with that experience of leadership and how to communicate and how to build relationships with people that you learn at a young age in the military could be transitional, could be pivotal to bring to a corporation.
Absolutely. That's the message I was really going with yesterday, right? Was I think those two things stretch further than anything, right? Is leadership and culture. If you have those things, your company is top notch.
Yeah.
You are going to have less serious injuries and fatalities, which we all want, right? So instead of just giving you a new piece of paper, a new policy, or maybe a new spin on it, let's develop what we already have so that we can go to that next level. And culture is the ticket, right? Leadership and culture is the ticket.
That is the move, bro. Like, you're talking about, like, I've seen, even for us, I try to focus on, and you guys are right there with me. When I say I mean all of us. Like, we're trying to focus on those two key elements. I see other people putting a lot of effort, a lot of companies, into, like, things that aren't going to solve their problem. It's the minutia. It's that noise that you're constantly, like, chasing. It's like, well, and somebody said it today in the conference, and we're talking about the standard. Actually, Tony brought it up too today.
Yeah.
It's that foreman, it's that leader on that crew is what is how that crew, what's the culture. What he allows is what that culture is going to be. So why not invest in the guy who's going to make the call?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
we're giving him tools. We're giving the foreman tools, and you're throwing more tools in his toolbox.
Yeah.
But what tools is he using? Is he using the tools that you're giving him? The leadership to really work that culture in his, own your space, right? Own your crew, own your work site, and then making sure that all your expectations are set and aligned with what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
The good quality work and safely done. We want the guys to make money. We want the guys to do the job, but we really want them to go home the way they came to work, in one piece, healthy, safe. Made a little bit of money today, right?
You called it, got it here, train, man, equip.
Absolutely.
That was your concept, and I thought it was brilliant, dude. And I took some notes. So me and Paul talk about this. We talk about it at our leadership safety managers meetings all the time, our management meeting monthly. We got to come up with, and I hate to put you guys on the spot now, but like a culture playbook for us.
All right.
I got to challenge Paul, got to challenge Megan, and how to capture that, so that when you get hired, this is our culture. Because we got it sprinkled everywhere. We're kind of this, we're kind of that. It's not all in one spot, like a culture field manual.
Right.
Like, that's the next level, is like, this is what to expect. This is everything you're talking about, the culture, the leadership, the train, man, equip. And then the last point was mission accomplished, I thought was cool. Because I think that's the reward as linemen, military, personnel, those who served, veteran, retired, currently listed, is that accomplishment of getting it done.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, that's why we got in this business. Yeah. The brotherhood, the camaraderie is all cool, but we all like to see the finished product.
And if the product's not getting done, are we all here right now?
Yeah, exactly.
If we're not getting the mission accomplished, we're not here right now. We're not talking about it.
It's pretty cool, man. I love it.
Yeah, I like so the Marine Corps talked about train, man, and equip for years, and it really hit home. Like, when I had my guys, hopefully nobody badmouths me in the comments. They can
leave
tell
a comment below if you worked for Ed. Tell me something about Ed.
Yeah. Go. You know what? Matter of fact, do it. I'd love for you guys to see the real Ed, out in the open. When I was a young section chief, no different than if you just, had a real, roughneck lineman. You led with a hammer.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how I was. I didn't know any better. Yep. I led with a hammer all the time, but I also required so much out of my guys. I tell a story about, I used to mess with the guys. So every night when you're out in the field, you're training, whatever, time's getting rough, it starts to slow down a little bit at night. And I would do, maybe some gray area of, it wasn't bad, but for example is, hey, we got chow. So we got hot chow. Let's get everybody over there to get hot chow. And I wouldn't let them leave. And I was like, nah, you're going to clean my howitzer before you go eat. So everybody was running up to go get food, and
you're that guy.
Staff and officers eat last.
Leaders eat last.
Leaders eat last. Yeah.
Leaders eat last.
Yeah.
So then we're over there. We're punching the cannon too. We're doing a bunch of stuff that we could have done an hour from now. But the point was, the guns had to be ready before you eat.
Yeah.
Not everybody liked that. Even the bosses didn't like that sometimes. Before they would get to go to sleep, I would make them line up and answer artillery knowledge questions before they were allowed to go to sleep. And if they got it wrong, they went and grabbed a shovel and dug a hole. Right? I was like, we got to harden our positions, go dig a fighting hole. And that's just the way I learned. That's the way I was treated as a young buck. But I saw that I learned a lot from it. I understood my craft, and it went a long way. So I let the hammer fall where it did and pushed him as hard as I could. And I made it a point to push him as hard as I could. Why? Because at the end of the day, eventually we were going to go to combat. we were going to go get into it, and my hope is that you were tough enough to make it out. And if we're not doing that, we're not leading them down the right path. And I'm not saying that, obviously, we're not hazing people, but if we're not taking every opportunity to train, man, and equip, right? Train, man, equip. And even when we got into that mental space, that goes into that equipping. You got to give. All of us are hard-headed. Let's be honest, that mental awareness, that mental health is not something that comes easy to an industry. No. So the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it, people are going to be willing to speak up, right? But if we're not training and manning and equipping them for this, we're not putting the right people in the right places, it's just fluff. Yeah. And that's really what you got to avoid. You got to really bring it and mean it when you do it. So I've always preached train, man, and equipped. I think it breaks down into everything that we're doing, and it'll elevate you if you really look at it like, okay, I'll tell you, like, it gets some. I talked about the 40-year plus kind of linemen that we had in the crowd. I'm fortunate enough to have 2 50-year linemen that are on my staff. And they don't let, I'm telling you can go in my office, there's some line stuff drawn on the wall that, like, I was sitting there like, oh my God. I drink from a fire hose in my office because Tony and Richard will not, ease up. They're training me.
Yeah. Shout out to those dudes, man.
Shout out to those guys. I love those two.
Both veterans.
Both veterans. Maybe that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's why they're beating me up. They're both veterans too. Vietnam vets, so, but if we're doing that, if we truly care, and we're preparing these guys, sometimes we want to prepare them for the things that they don't even think of. There's a lineman who, the first time I heard about, excuse me if I mess up a term, by the way, it was piking a pole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was like, because I was talking about a backyard machine, and they were like, no, you don't need a backyard machine. And they started explaining it to me. I was in amazement. I was like,
did you actually see a handset with pikes?
I haven't got to see it yet. I want to see it. I'm
well,
like,
the poles nowadays, bro, they're massive.
They're massive.
They're too big. We were setting those little 40s and class 5s, 35s. We just handset that. We did build a little trench, and you just start this little rigging. You just keep pushing that pole. Then you pike it, and you just get it to where it just falls in the hole, bro. Like.
So think about that rigging, that
and you
style,
get up there,
that digging, that
up.
trench, all those little things, that trick. It just popped to you like this, right?
Yeah. Popped to me. Yeah.
So when you get to that point. When you get to that point of your career, you want to hand those down to guys because they may never see it.
Oh, dude.
There might be an apprentice who's like, what are you talking about?
Then there's that scary moment where it's like,
yeah.
And you're like, oh, thank God.
Oh, it worked.
A little mud in the hole, bro. Not all the way because you got to plumb it. So you got to get it somewhat, filled in. And you got to get up there and tie ropes and do the shit. And the guys plumb it. You're on the pole. And then you're mudding it, you know what I mean? So it's a art. I mean, I seen what you guys were doing too in those videos you were showing.
Oh, I love that
artillery videos, bro. There wasn't one person not watching that shit.
Yeah, that was dope.
I watched it.
If there was a dude sleeping, you got him. Like, you show shit getting blown up.
Oh,
what'd you call it? You called warheads on foreheads.
Oh, warheads on foreheads.
I was yeah. Warheads on foreheads on the bad guys, bro. Like, and it was legit. It was like perfect timing. I thought it was on point, dude.
Yeah, I'm glad it landed. I'm glad the guys appreciated it.
Dude, it was solid.
I loved it.
Raul, I don't want to gloss over this, but Ed made a good point about troop welfare. I think you and our superintendent was right here, Clayton Loback. You guys do a good job of kind of getting input from the yard. One thing I think you guys are good about is being available, and I think that goes a lot to be about you called it the workforce welfare, or would you call it
employee welfare,
or the troop welfare?
Troop welfare is what we called it, but employee. It's the same thing. When we think about you guys out there in the trade, and I talked about comparing them to the war fighters.
Yeah.
You're the front line, right? You're in the battle. You're in the trenches. So that aspect of understanding that we got to support the war fighter, the front line employee. And you mentioned Clayton. Clayton and I think we feed off each other very well. I give him everything I find, and there's times where I'm like, oh, I wanted to say something, and Clayton's pulling up his notes and he's going and then he's hitting that thing I told him about a week ago.
Yeah,
and
he's on point, dude.
He's on point. He's on point. He's making sure that those.
Dude, I've showed Clayton my notes. He'd go up and do his thing at the safety meeting, right? I'd walk up to him and I'm like, check out my notes, bro. And my notes are all typed up, and so there's not something I'm just gonna whip up. And I showed it to him. He's like, dude, that's everything I talked about. And I'm like, we're so lockstep. So to have that relationship is so massive, dude.
But that whip effect channels down to the troop welfare, to the employee welfare, and I think that's good. And I think everyone, like you said, our attrition rate is low. Obviously, there's going to be some revolving part of the workforce, but that's just the way the craft is. But I think the big point is a lot of people are here because they want to be here and they like the leadership. They like the availability of our leaders standing up there, be able to ask questions and be able to get a pretty transparent look about what the work picture looks like, implementation of any new policies and procedure. I think you guys do a good job of that. So hats off to you.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the foremen we got.
Some
tell you the
foremen,
truth.
leaders, the guys in the yard, bro. All
Those
of them.
those guys. When I first got here and I was just a safety specialist, right? They really allowed me in, right? And it was just because just having a conversation, don't come over the top, really show that I want to learn what's going on around here. And those guys brought me up, and it made it to where they trusted me enough to say, hey, Tony, Richard, all those guys were like, hey, why don't you apply to be the safety manager? And I was like, oh, I don't know about that one.
Even I said the same thing. I'm like, nope, I don't want no safe. Nope. I was like, totally against it, straight up.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we're gonna interview for it. And dude, quite honestly, you're the best man for the job, dude.
And it's
straight
passion.
up.
Paul's heard me before. I don't know
Heaven
what collapse
sent,
the table here.
No.
Paul's heard me before, and I say I'm average. I'm average at everything, right? But I just truly care, and I want to be passionate about what I'm doing. I don't want to be fake. So it's like, I listen to some of the safety professionals. I'm like, dang, they're really smart, analytic, and I'm like, oh wow, that's beyond me. But then I got to go open up the computer, learn, and then say, okay, well, how do I translate this to what the guys want in the field?
Dude, that's the move right there. The balance to do that, like I was talking about earlier, dude, that's so hard to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, easy to say, but it's not, dude, that's not.
No, it's
two different languages.
It really is.
It is.
Two different languages. No, dude, but balancing, like you said, just to close out that point, is the mission's cool, mission accomplishment, but at the end of the day, you got to balance the employee welfare and the safety is really the name of the game.
Yeah,
like, if you're not, you can't have one without the other.
Can't have one without the other. The lineman is our asset, right? The most important asset we have is you guys out there doing the work. Everybody's got bucket trucks. I say this all the time, right? Everybody's got bucket trucks. Everybody's got tools, PPE. We talk about striving for that, operational excellence. Well, we got to bring the stuff that not everybody has, and I think it's the leadership and the culture is what's going to propel us to that, operational excellence, and it leads hand in hand. We have both of those, and it leads to that mission accomplishment and employee welfare.
Yep. Dude, back to business here. Did you get my emails? I got you 2 action items already from the safety office.
I have. I have. I've already seen them.
You're like, damn, I ain't even got back to the yard yet. This dude's already giving me something to do.
I was in the back like, ding. I was like, oh, man,
We got work to do.
They're talking about it right now. They're talking about these hard hats.
You're doing it right now.
I just learned.
Dude, I'm like, I'm passionate about this right here because I think this is the next step in what we're doing.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think that,
I'm pointing to the hard hats.
Your questions about the culture of it.
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's always going to be that pushback about like, hey, I don't want to wear the chin strap and all this stuff. But hey, man, we want to protect you. We want you to be out here making money, doing the right thing.
360 protection.
Like, let's get you. You know what I mean? If we're obviously not going to wrap you in a bubble. These guys are out here making lightweight stuff, trying to customize it to what we want. They talked about the brim. I thought that was interesting.
Dude, this thing's 4 times what a normal hard hat or helmet costs or hard hat, right? Like 4 times at least. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, why not have the best? Let's go with the best. So you got some work to do.
I have some work.
You and Clayton got some work to do.
Back to it.
And then the job briefing, obviously, getting engaging our consultants, which dude, like, you have every tool that you need from us. You know that, right?
Yeah.
From MRI Group to Sturgeon Electric, like our parent companies, all of us. Like, you have a whole toolbox full of tools, bro.
Hey,
whatever you need.
Shout out to the consultants, right?
Dude.
Richard Reyes, man, that guy. Me and Jack Mangle.
Those some smart dudes right there.
I think they're probably another set of 50-year
at least
plus experienced linemen. And I tell you, Richard has really brought me in and worked with me and helped me. He knows how Raul wants things worded. Right? Like he's like, ooh, you might not want that, right? So
I've been with him a long time.
I'll run some stuff by him before, and he's like, ooh, I don't know if you want to say that. Maybe change it up a little bit. Raul's gonna want a little something different there.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's great. I think the tools that I have, man, I hope everybody has these, and it's probably not true, but man, I got technically at my disposal, I got 4 50-year plus linemen. Right, and that kind of goes into that speech where I was talking about that experience. bringing that back, man. We got to don't let guys just float off into retirement. Those guys had some tools that we still want today.
Yeah.
Right? And recruiting them in the right
that foundational stuff is critical, bro. Not losing some of those basic stuff that are fundamental that we've worked so hard to get. You know, you can't let it go now just because something's new out there. You got to evaluate it, and if it works, then great.
What about the training aspect, right? We got our man, the man, the myth, the legend, the coach.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Right? He's out there ready to do more.
Got Leck. Yeah, dude, he's freaking awesome, dude.
And
so
I think it feeds into the culture. It's just different terms. I think I use different terms, but a lot of it is stuff that we're doing here, and we're looking at 2026, and we're like, let's do more. Let's figure out what's the new thing to help our force get better. And once again,
clean the howitzers.
Clean howitzers, right?
Clean howitzers.
I have standards. If I set the standard, I got to hold it, right? And that's the hard part.
When the guys are hungry, let's just let them eat, bro.
Yeah, let them eat. Let them eat. Hey, we could have stories about this all day. We can have a podcast just about mistreatment. But if you hold the line, right? Like, so to give you an example, now I'm asking the questions at night in that story, right?
Yeah.
Before they can go to sleep and they had to go dig. That means I have to stay up and wait for them until they answered my question correctly, right? Or I give them a technical manual and say, hey, here you go. Go find it in the technical manual. I'd give them the tools, but I had to hold the line, which made more work for me too. I was hungry.
Yeah,
I wanted to eat.
I got to eat.
But you got to hold the line. And I'll tell you, a lot of guys that I serve with, the ones that made it pretty far or super successful on the outside, it wasn't necessarily because of me, but I'm saying those guys probably learn from the Corps some of these hard lessons, and it just apply them to the civilian world. And once you find it, people will feed off of it.
I tell you what, dude, we got to put you on a road show. I think you got to do that in Arizona. You got to go. I'm going to talk to Eric Laria.
I can do it. I'll get out there. I think.
Get to Arizona. Got to go to Utah, Colorado.
You got a good message, man.
You got a great message. Looking forward to seeing you grow with us as a company too, dude. Like, I mean, sky's the limit for you. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
I'm excited.
Except run a hand line because you're too.
No,
too
not allowed. Don't. I'm getting aged. I don't think. You want a howitzer shot? I got you.
Yeah, I got you. We're gonna get you out of here, dude.
Yeah.
So, again, appreciate everything you do for us. Mean that, dude, wholeheartedly. You make my job so easy. And like my dad taught me a long time ago, you got to hire people smarter than you, and you're definitely passionate and smarter than what even at times I can do, bro. So appreciate you. And I do actually have to agree with you a little bit that, you're not a good safety guy at all. No, you're a great safety guy. So you're
blushing.
Yeah, no, dude, you do a great job for us. So appreciate it. Any last comments?
No,
anything you want to give a shout out to?
I'd like to just tell everybody, get out there, lead your guys the way you want to be led, and it will go far.
There you go. Shout out to the entire Sturgeon Electric California workforce, back office, project managers, everybody out there doing their work, our safety professionals out there helping Ed, our consultants.
Yeah.
Shout out to our consultants.
Great team.
So appreciate all you guys. Thank you, Ed. Awesome job. Great job, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Go Navy.
We're going out.
Go.